Gatlinburg, Tennessee is located in the heart of the Smoky Mountains, home of only 4,097 residents. Gatlinburg is surrounded by gorgeous mountain ranges, rivers, caves, waterfalls, and more. This is why it has been such an attraction for tourists over the last 30 years.
Once within its city limits, you feel right at home and welcomed with its lively music, people, and nature. Just last November in 2016, the residents of Gatlinburg would find themselves fearing for their lives, their homes, and the place that they had known and loved for so many years.
Fox News alert. A dire emergency taking place in Tennessee right now. Families and tourists forced to evacuate as wildfires now.
On November 23rd at approximately 5:20 p.m., two teenage boys were hiking along Chimney Top Trail. They were reportedly flicking matches into the brush on the side of the trail, sparking and eventually igniting the entire hillside. Little did they know the enormity that would follow what they had just begun.
Coming over, jump to that fire. You're going to have heavy fire on the road.
They're getting out. They just directed.
Copy that. Slow down.
About 9 o'clock and started pulling the computers out because, I mean, it was right behind us. I lived just on the other side of this hill and we could see the flames of the glow, out our front door. So we ran back up here and grabbed the computers and as much paperwork and stuff as we could get. And we had a fifth wheel behind there, and I couldn't even back up just to see the trailer because of the smoke. Right after that, it started raining. If it wasn't for that, we'd have lost the building.
The wind gust got up to 85 miles an hour, and what it did is it drew fire bombs. And it actually dropped bombs on buildings. It was like a bomb, and it totally ignited the whole thing. But there's so many miracle stories to it all. I mean, it was the most devastating thing you could live there if you lived here. You couldn't have a cry every day. She said, but you wouldn't believe what happened to us. I said, what happened? She said, we were surrounded by fire. She's lived in this house for years and years and years. And if you live here, you know every way in and every way out. Yeah. We know ways in and ways out that nobody else does. Mm-hmm. She was surrounded and engulfed with flames of fire. And this man from nowhere appeared. And he looked at her and her husband and her son. And he said, ma'am, I know a way out, but you have no idea how to get out. But I do. Follow me and I'm going to put you to safety. He got that family out and the man disappeared. And I looked at her with tears in my eyes and I said, ma'am, that was no man. That was the angel of the Lord Jesus Christ. And I said, he has a purpose for your life. And he has a purpose for your family. And I said, he has a high call on your life and I suggest you follow. So many miracles. I could go on and on about how God appeared, God's angels appeared to people. I could go on and on. Even through the midst of devastation, the mercy of God is always there.
That would be the 28th is the day of the fire. Okay. When it hit Gatlinburg, okay? When we got here in the morning, about 8 o'clock, it was just like this. By 10 o'clock, it was starting to smoke up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then that's what it was at like 11 o'clock in the morning. I mean, at one point, we couldn't even see the hotel across the street. Our house was right above Westgate. Wow. And we lost everything. And that's the fire at the bottom of the hill. That's our house in Westgate burning.
You lost your entire house?
Oh yeah.
As a result of this forest fire, 14 people lost their lives, over 2,000 structures including homes and businesses were destroyed, and hundreds of residents were displaced.
They finally let us back up in here. I mean, you can see how hot the fire was. It just melted everything. Also, that steel. I mean, it's just like all twisted. I mean, that's a big old steel beam. It's just all twisted. We had a car at the house, and just big old pools of aluminum from the transmission case were just coming out. It's like 1400 degrees is when aluminum starts smelting. This was the house. Fire is still going. Every house on that hillside was lost, about 20 some odd houses. And then here's Hillbilly Golf. All the light poles and power poles came down. That's the bridge right over there. About half of it was taken out. It's a bridge that was destroyed. That was a 160-year-old hemlock.
As you can see here, the fire affected the entire neighborhood. On either side of the street, houses burned down to the concrete foundation, leaving nothing behind.
After interviews with several residents, the common denominator was that the days that the city was consumed by fire were an unlucky sequence of events. Not only was it the dry season for Gatlinburg, a large windstorm had made its way into the city. As the wind knocked out cell towers, communication was lost within the city, leaving residents unaware of the danger that they were in. In addition, the wind continued to pick up the fire and carry it over several miles, explaining why some parts of town were charred while others were not.
In an effort to replace what was lost to the fire, park rangers along with volunteers from the community have been planting grasses like winter rye to stabilize the soil and keep it from eroding down the hill. In addition, volunteers have been cleaning up burned debris all over Gatlinburg to restore it to what it was last fall.
We're expecting land changes, landslides. The ground is probably very unstable. What we're talking about is erosion. And we just can't let people get up and it's got to settle and heal. Beyond there, we'll probably let nature take its course. We will probably see a lot in the burned areas, wildflowers pop up.
Due to the fact that Chimney Top Trail was at an elevation of 4,840 feet above sea level, fighting the fire seemed almost impossible. When asked how they did it, this is what Alan told us.
Use of helicopters and water, and then just man-to-man digging, throwing dirt on, suppression. But you get up in an area like that, that's tough firefighting. And Dolly Parton, he came up and is guaranteed $1,000 a month to the people who lost their homes in the structure in the area for 6 months. An amazing woman. She's from this area, loves the area, and constantly gets paid. There are federal grants that are helping out.
Do you know any damage done to wildlife, different animals and ecosystems?
Bears, deer, we've not found any carcasses. And the trees, it's just kind of amazing. You would see a burn scar go up a tree, kind of a narrow one. Usually that was a vine burn. The tree itself, fine. The next tree, gone. We'll probably see some sort of a hardwood pine replace it. The change will be in terms of what kind of tree is going to come back. Right. Plus you also have other things that are going on in the parkland now. Balsam Adelgid, which are affecting our hemlocks and our spruce and pine trees that have already been damaged. So climate change, how that's going to affect the ecosystem. Things are warmer. Wildlife we're a little bit concerned about, like the northern flying squirrel. We're seeing he's tending to move out of the park now.